All right, let's take a walk through a city where, believe it or not, every single building has something to say. We're going to explore how Helsinki's architecture isn't just a bunch of cool structures. It's a living, breathing record of its history, its culture, and its very identity.
So I want you to think about this for a second. What can a city's buildings really tell us? I mean, are they just brick and mortar, steel and glass? Or is there something more going on? It's a question that can totally unlock the soul of a place.
Well, in Helsinki, the answer couldn't be clearer. The buildings there tell the entire story of a nation, its struggles, its big wins, and all its dreams for the future. So come on, let's dive in right at the very beginning.
Okay, so our story doesn't kick off with some grand, flashy capital. Nope. It starts with a small, pretty practical trading town. This is the foundation, the ground floor upon which everything else is built.
So picture this. Way back in the 16th century, Helsinki is just this modest little Swedish town, filled with simple wooden houses. But then, a couple of huge things happened that changed everything. First, in the 1700s, the Swedes built this massive sea fortress, Suomenlinna, which was a huge signal that this area was becoming seriously important. And then came the real game changer. In 1812, Russia takes control and declares Helsinki the new capital of Finland. The stage was officially set for a total transformation.
So you get this new status, and you need a whole new look to go with it, right? The Russian Empire wanted a capital that looked the part, a city that just screamed power, order, and stability, and they had a very specific style in mind to get that done.
And that style was neoclassicism. I want you to think grand columns, perfect symmetry, a very serious, imposing vibe. It was a direct shout-out to the power of ancient Greece and Rome, and for Russia, it was the perfect visual language. They were basically building a miniature St. Petersburg right here, creating an imperial capital that was grand, orderly, and, well, unmistakably Russian.
And what's absolutely wild is that this entire city center was pretty much the vision of one man, Carl Ludwig Engel. He's the guy who designed the iconic Senate Square, with that magnificent Helsinki Cathedral, the government palace, the university, and the National Library, all of it working together in this perfect neoclassical harmony. This wasn't just a random collection of buildings. It was a powerful, unified statement.
But here's the thing about empires. They don't last forever. As the 19th century was winding down, a brand new feeling was sweeping through Finland, this deep desire for its own unique identity. And architecture, it became one of the most powerful ways to shout that identity from the rooftops.
And this just illustrates the shift perfectly. It's like night and day. You go from neoclassicism, which was all about projecting imperial power with its strict symmetrical forms, to Art Nouveau, or Eugen Style as they called it. The goal here was the complete opposite. It was about expressing a national identity. The shapes become organic and curved, and the inspiration wasn't Greece and Rome anymore. It was Finnish nature and folklore.
The absolute poster child for this new Finnish style has got to be the Helsinki Central Railway Station. Designed by the great Elio Saarinen, it's so strong and monumental, but at the same time, it's decorative and flowing. You know those iconic stone giants holding glowing lamps at the entrance? That's the Finnish take on Art Nouveau in its purest form. They called it National Romanticism, blending modern design with ancient Finnish myths. This is a building that says, "We are here, and this is who we are."
Okay, so after Finland gains its independence in 1917, the whole architectural conversation shifts. Again, the focus turns away from the past and towards the future, towards simplicity, function, and a whole new modern way of living. And you literally cannot talk about Finnish modernism without talking about the legend himself, Alvar Aalto. His philosophy was a total game changer. It really taps into this core Nordic design principle, that good design should serve people. For him, modernism wasn't supposed to be cold or sterile. It was about creating spaces that were human-friendly, focusing on comfort and beauty. But a quiet, confident kind of beauty, not a flashy one.
And in Helsinki, you can see his philosophy everywhere. You've got the majestic Finlandia Hall with its sleek marble surfaces, which is just this beautiful celebration of Finnish culture. And then you have the Stora Enso headquarters, a building that actually sparked a lot of debate, but it perfectly represents that bold, modern vision, sitting right there on the city's waterfront.
And that brings us right up to today. Helsinki has fully embraced its role as a global design capital with a modern architectural spirit that is all about one thing, the people who actually live there.
Just look at these two incredible examples. You've got the Udi Central Library, which is so much more than a place for books. It's basically a massive,
open public living room for everyone. And then, in total contrast, you have the Campi Chapel of Silence, this beautiful wooden cocoon designed for quiet reflection, plopped right in the middle of the city's busiest area. Both of them are built entirely around the human experience.
So when we put it all together, when we step back and look at the whole picture, you can see how walking through Helsinki it's like reading a history book written in stone, glass, and wood. Each layer tells a crucial part of the story.
So let's just quickly recap this incredible journey. First, those neoclassical squares, they tell the story of an empire's power. Then, the Art Nouveau details, they reveal that search for a national identity. Next up, the clean lines of modernism show a clear, forward-looking vision for the future. And finally, today's contemporary public spaces prove that this is a city now built, first and foremost, for the well-being of its people.
And that just leaves us with one last thought. The next time you're walking through your own town or your own city, take a closer look. I mean, a really close look at the buildings around you. If they could talk, what stories would they tell about where you live? What chapters of your city's history are hiding there, right in plain sight?